All right, welcome back to Rep by Rep Strength Podcast. And today I'm sitting down with Dominic Rowden. Is that pronounce that right? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
All right.
You're actually the first person to pronounce it right. Most time they call me Rowden, Dominique, and all that. So thank you.
All right, man. I got it on the first one. I'll take that one. But anyway, yeah, man. So you're a competitive powerlifter, running your own business. Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so I am a 83 kg powerlifter. I've been doing powerlifting for about 4 years now. So I've competed on the national level. I am a North Carolina state record holder in the USPA Federation, and I'm currently competing in the USAPL, which is the drug tested federation.
Gotcha.
And then I am the creator and founder of Rise and Shine Lifestyle, and that was established in 2015. And it's just incredible to see the journey. We have a online coaching business where we take athletes under our wing. We have fitness apparel. We have a YouTube channel. We're just trying to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am currently going to school for physical therapy assistant. That's something that I've been kind of doing under the radar for a little bit. Let me see what else. That's all I can really think about right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't you give people some idea, because I don't think people quite understand when we're talking about competitive powerlifting. Like, would you mind giving us your best numbers? What's it mean to be an 83 kilo guy? Are you walking around at like 95 kilos and then cutting down?
Mm-hmm.
What's that look like for you?
Got you. So pretty much powerlifting is based off three main movements. It's squat, bench, and deadlift. We're tested in competitions for depth and pretty much just our overall strength. My best lifts right now are a 635-pound squat, a 350-pound bench, and about a 620-pound deadlift, all at about 181 pounds.
All right. So as an 83 guy.
As an 83,
okay.
And I'm still a junior, so I'm only 23 years old. And wow. So trying to hang in there with the big dogs. But I think my next meet is November 7th, and I got some big goals. This is like my last meet as a junior, so I'm trying to end it off with a bang and go out there and have fun and put up one of my best totals to date.
Okay, so how are you feeling about your taper right now?
Taper's feeling really good. I'm currently sitting around like 188 pounds this morning. So this is the lightest I've ever been going into like a competition. Most of the times I'm like weighing about 191. In the off season, I get to like the heaviest I got was 200 pounds. But this time around, I really wanted to stay up on my nutrition and make sure that I didn't get too heavy, so that all the strength that I was getting can carry over to my actual lifts when it comes to the competition day.
I got you. So is it a more gradual taper this time with your nutrition since you tweaked some things, or?
Oh, for sure. I mean, just been tracking in the off season, not getting too crazy. I think it's pretty easy to like want to go balls to the wall and like eat a whole bunch of calories, get strong, get big, and put on like decent muscle, but you're also putting on a ton of fat as well. And
right,
when you have to cut down and do, like me personally, I do a water load, so
mm-hmm.
kind of like it's an old fashioned style. Like a lot of wrestlers do it, but it's pretty common in what we do in powerlifting. Where like I may water load like 10 pounds just to make it to the weight class. Yeah.
Holy cow, man. So are you doing like any kind of diuretics to do that final cut, or are you guys allowed to do that at all?
We actually are. I think it's more of a preference. With me, the best approach has been like, getting down to about 6 pounds to where I need to be, like over the weight class, and then just doing like a basic water cut. I've done the diuretics, I've done like all type of stuff, and those to me tax my body way too much to where when I need to rehydrate, it's very hard for me to get back to that training weight that I'm used to staying at.
Right. I gotcha. So what kind of tweaks did you make from a nutrition standpoint this time around that you're doing differently for this prep?
So the biggest thing was just really taking in control of like just being on point with my macros and cutting my carbs a little bit. Like I've learned with my body, like especially in powerlifting, like you need those carbs for energy. Like you need them for those big lifts. But when it came to me, I actually did a lot better on low carbs, higher protein, and moderate fats, which kind of helped sustain my hunger, mm-hmm. which allowed me to like have better training sessions. And then I would always do like a big refeed before my heaviest days, and then I kind of just go on like a maintenance or like carb cycle throughout the week. And those have done my body wonders.
Awesome. Okay, so with your refeeds, what do those days look like? Are you mainly under budget on your calories, and then the refeed is a huge surplus? How's that look for you?
Yeah, like so I go pretty low throughout the week, especially right now because we're about 4 weeks out. So I'm feeling like pretty flat. And then once I think Friday, because my heaviest days are on Saturday. Once we get to Friday, I try to go like maybe 300 grams of carbs, 350, to really just allow myself to get that, not only that recovery, but just have enough to go to lay over into the next training day. But I don't do anything crazy. Like I don't go like Krispy Kreme or like eat out at like buffets or anything like that. I've done it before, but it's just over time you get to understand your body and what works best, and that like sometimes more is not always the best thing.
Right. Because yeah, I've heard some guys that, and I've seen guys who will do that where they will just go balls to the wall and like
Yeah,
slam a buffet. And some guys it works, they say that salt and that water kind of allows them an advantage. You know what I mean? Like gives them a mechanical
yeah,
advantage, so to speak. But I've also heard some guys talk about how it makes them feel sluggish and slow, and they're just
yeah.
lethargic, and it's harder to digest certain foods. But
Yeah, man. I think that you hit that right on the nail. Like, to me, when you just like start eating crazily, like pizza, and just get that sugar high, like it doesn't ever do me well. And I think with a lot of like competitive athletes, they take their nutrition seriously,
yeah,
and they try to make sure that whether it's a training day or whether it's meet day, that like all the variables are the same, and that you're still
right,
just allowing your body to do what it naturally wants to do, and not changing anything last minute.
yeah,
I think that's what separates someone from being like advanced to like, a beginner, is like you start to slowly learn, like, okay, these are the things that I can control, and this is
hmm
how I respond to it. And just knowing how to work under pressure.
yeah, yeah. Because I agree. I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to change multiple variables all at once, and then
Yeah.
you're left. Well, what worked, what didn't work, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I like to control as much as possible, and then only change 1 to 2 variables, and then move on. But
Yeah, for sure. Have you competed in powerlifting?
no, I've never competed. I do enjoy it, and
Yeah.
it's a regular backbone of my training program.
That's
But
awesome.
no, man, I don't want to go and embarrass myself with you guys. I see some of the numbers you guys are putting up. And I'm like, yeah. So
Nah, dude. I think you could do it. I always ask everyone to at least give it a try, because the people you meet and the experience you get on the platform is like it's unlike like none other. You're really able to push yourself, and you realize that like this is something that is once in a lifetime. Like the adrenaline and just the competitive aspect of it just really kind of draws you in and keeps you going for
yeah,
more.
yeah, I was probably the first guy that I learned anything from. Was Olympic based, so I learned snatch and clean and jerk, and that was kind of the backbone of my training for a while. Was snatch, clean and jerk, and then squat, deadlift, that kind of thing were viewed as accessories to
Yeah.
snatch, clean and jerk or whatever. So um, now what my training looks like is powerlifting backbone with snatch, clean and jerk once a week. And
Sorry about that.
oh, you're good. I didn't hear anything. Um, but yeah, it's basically squat, bench, dead, overhead press. Kind of forms the basis of my background of my training week, and then I'll snatch and clean and jerk once a week. So,
Nice.
but no, nothing like a formal powerlifting cycle, like I'm sure what you're doing or whatever. So,
I respect all variations of lifts, and just like anyone that is going after a specific goal in the gym, like you got my support. Like it's just really cool to see people like push themselves out of their limits, whether it's CrossFit, um, bodybuilding, powerlifting, any of that
right,
is just, to me, it takes a different type of mentality,
right,
and it takes a lot out of you. So to see someone push themselves day in, day out, like, dude, I love it all. So I'm not one of those guys that like powerlifting is the only way, or bodybuilding. Like, it's at the end of the day, we're doing something that makes us happy,
yep,
and that's the one thing I try to focus on.
yeah, and I think I agree, man. It really needs to be more cohesive, and people need to come together and say, like, look, we're all strength training here.
Yeah.
We need to support each other, and like yesterday, I was talking to your brother this morning, and yesterday I hopped in on these sled pushes with these guys.
Oh my
I
god.
I hate sled pushes, man. It just
Same.
it destroys me. But
Yeah.
what was cool was like, even though we were doing a team competition, was just the camaraderie that everybody had, and like the positive support. So like, even though you're competing, everybody's cheering for each other, rooting for each other, saying because we're working towards getting out of our comfort zone is the whole point.
Exactly. And I've met some of the most incredible people in my life just through the gym.
Yeah.
I met some of my best friends and just had some of the most incredible experiences because we're all we are all in there for like kind of like the same goal, and we can all come together and be like we're pushing ourselves, and the bar or the weight does not care what you look like, what you've been through. It's going to treat you the same. Like 400 pounds is still 400 pounds.
100%.
So you can go in there and someone like who lives a whole different life, you guys can come together and just like have something in common and build that relationship. And it's just been really cool. I mean, look, you met my brother who I'm very close with, and he allowed me to connect with you, which is like it all goes hand in hand, all because he's doing his fitness thing and you've been doing yours. And it's just really cool how small the world is when you think about it.
Yeah, and so is that kind of the basis of why you started RSL, and you're wanting to bring people together? What's the background here?
Yeah, so Rise and Shine. Funny enough, when I was a little kid, it started with music. So me and my dad did music as a kid growing up, and at 9 years old, unfortunately, he passed away of leukemia.
Oh, man.
So and
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, and that was like a huge turning point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is like Rise and Shine was going to be his album name. So when I was like a little kid, I was 9 years old, and I kept seeing like his picture, and like that was his little quote before he passed away, and I was like, well, I like that. So before it was just me like living out his legacy, and I wanted to do music and all that stuff. So but then over time, it became more of like a fitness thing because I started, getting more into my own habits and things that I like, and fitness was like a big part of my life. So then it became something I just wanted to put on a shirt, and then from there it just kept growing, and it became deeper whenever I lost my grandmother who raised me on my 19th birthday. That was again something that really affected me, and then the biggest part that really changed me was when I lost my biological mother, October 31st in 2017. So like Rise and Shine started from just being like a legacy for my father to my mother, my grandmother, and my father, and just making them proud and trying to show everyone that it's not what happens to you, but it's how you respond, and that we can all come together. Whenever I see someone like wearing the brand, I want them to know that like we're family, and that it's kind of like their badge of honor, saying I went through something that should have taken me out, but I'm here now. And I'm standing, and I'm doing something with that pain and turning it into good.
Wow.
Yeah,
man. I mean, hats off to you. I mean, that's incredible that you've pushed through that, because I mean, either one of those things could have someone could have used as an excuse to not do X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good for you, man, for making it a positive outlook on it, and choosing to have a little salute to family members. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. It's crazy because people always think it's like after a song, the song by J. Cole called "Rise and Shine," but like it's just deeper than that. It's a quote that I live by, and I actually have it tatted on my chest. "Rise and Shine," like it was my first tattoo when I was 18, and it kind of just pays honor to my father, who kind of started it all. And in a sense, I'm just trying to make him proud and make my family that were so close to me proud, but doing it in my own way. And I guess I made a promise to myself when I was 9 years old after seeing my father go through like leukemia, and it kind of it just broke his body down. Like I saw from the first to the end, and I told myself like I couldn't do anything. So being a kid and seeing that, it was hard because I wanted to help, but I had no clue. I was a little child. So I like made a promise to myself that when I get older, I'm going to do something that is worthwhile and that I want to make an impact. And if I'm breathing or if I have the opportunity to, I'm going to help someone out. And then this whole movement of apparel and powerlifting has kind of helped me build that message. But it started off like with humble beginnings, just like just a kid with a dream, and we're slowly building it up. And it's incredible to see the support. And I mean, like just like you're all the way across the country, and you like something that we did out here in North Carolina, and like that means the world to me. So now I consider you, a part of that family, a part of that movement of someone that you've probably been through a lot of things, but you've rose to the occasion and did the best of your situation. So that's what I try to look at it as.
Yeah, man. That helps to definitely hear the background and hear the story behind it. Because some people will just, well, I just threw out a name and it sounded good or whatever. Like it's that's cool, but definitely more impactful when there's a deep rooted meaning behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
But so you obviously like to help people. I mean, that's why you got into PTA and strict, like coaching people online and that kind of thing. So what's that look like for you right now?
It's going incredible. I was actually a personal trainer for 5 years. 5 years? Yeah, about 5 years. I started with the gym. I started personal training when I was 19 years old. I saved up some money and I just got a certification. I just like balled out and I was like, I want to do this. And got hired at a gym when I was 20 years old. It was called Fit for Life. It was like a local gym in North Carolina. And then started working there and built up my reputation. And then I went independent in 2016, 2017. And I did that for about 3 years. And then I just stopped personal training at the beginning of this year.
Okay. And then did you just move to exclusively online?
Yes. Okay. And it was crazy because when I did that, I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I love in-person training. And then the coronavirus happened and I was like, whoa, like this is
now you have to.
The best time. Yeah, it was probably the best time to leave in person because like we weren't going to see people for 6 months or so. It was crazy.
Yep. So where are you going to school for PTA?
So I was currently going to Fayetteville Community College. And then right now I just moved to Raleigh. So I'm going to try to finish out the courses in, I think it's Wake Tech. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. The goal is to start off there. I was working as a PT Tech for Results Physiotherapy for about a year. And I noticed that the tech and the PTAs did all the work. And I was like, man, these PTs go to school. They're incredible people. They're so knowledgeable, but we do the same thing. Like they just pass us off. So I wanted to be more hands-on than just doing the notes and all the billing. Right. So that was my thought process. But right now, like the goal is to be a full PT. It's going to take some time and all that stuff. But, I think it's incredible. It's just I think personal training and physical therapy go hand in hand. Like
exactly,
PTs break them down and then PTs build them back up. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So how's that impacting your coaching with people that you're working with? I mean, is that the more you learn with PT side, is that affecting like how you're doing evaluations and that kind of thing, or how's that look?
Yes, it goes hand in hand. Like just being able to educate myself on more of the physical therapy aspect has helped me become a better trainer because I'm now able to handle injuries and test them on myself and talk about them with clients. It's kind of like making it a one-stop shop. Instead of referring people to someone else, I can do more with them and give them a clear understanding of like I can help you build up and I can also help you with little nagging pains and discomfort that you may get over time with training. And I've applied a lot of the stuff that I've learned from being around these PTs with myself because I've been injured, hurt myself countless times. I can't even tell you how many times I've hurt myself. So all those cool lifts you see, man, it took a few hurting knees, hurting backs to get those lifts, but it's all been worth it.
Yeah, I think, man, I think back to some of the stuff that I was doing at different points, like early on before I really knew anything at all.
Yeah.
And, just going in the gym and like I remember one time I was doing snatch grip deadlifts and first time doing them. First time learning them, I'm like, all right, I got the basic mechanics. I might as well just see what I can do for a 1 rep max. Just like, and sure enough, man, just my low back, I will never forget it. I was just doing a 1 RM and just like low back just goes pop, 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 pop.
Oh my God.
And, you start sweating immediately because of the pain, and you don't want anybody to know because you're embarrassed.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good, but you can't walk. You're
you know what? Like, I'm just good for the day. I'll see you guys later.
Oh, man.
But, that's one of my all-time stupidest things that have done in the weight room. So
more power to you, man, because the snatch grip deadlift is already hard, but to max out with the max grip, dude, woo, I can just feel my shoulders just hurting the whole time from just thinking about it.
But yeah, what was now you said something about your hurt knees, hurt back. So what have you had in the past?
Man, so first off, I dislocated my shoulder. I've been working out since I was 14 years old. So I'm going on that, almost on that 10-year mark of lifting. And I think when I was 15 years old, I was lifting with my grandpa in the garage, just pumping iron, like OG style. And, like we had no clue what we were doing. We would print off workouts from bodybuilding.com and stick them in the garage, and we do them like for 2 hours at a time, the same thing every week. And I remember I was like dumbbell pressing, and this arm gave out and this arm kept going. And when I let go of this dumbbell, but this arm right here just fell with the weight and it just popped it out. So I went online and popped it in myself at home, and I never got it looked at until just recently. But and then I pulled my back doing deadlifts when I had no idea what I was doing.
Yep.
I've hurt my knees from just like over squatting or just all type of stuff, man. Power cleans in high school with the coach and the team you know how it goes. High school days with the coach you guys are maxing out doing power cleans and squat and bench. We didn't know what we were doing at all.
Yeah, and that the coaches, man, I feel bad for them because they're at such a disadvantage. I think it is getting better. Like I think people are starting to realize, schools, especially in Texas and Oklahoma and that kind of thing, are starting to realize, look, we need a certified strength and conditioning coach here in the weight room, and then we have that guy needs assistance. Like
for real,
because if we've got 50 people in here, one guy cannot possibly see everything all at once. So and I think that's another thing about athlete education is, look, there are no magical exercises. It's going to have to be what works best for that athlete. And then you program from a large group standpoint. Okay, the dumbest guy in here right now, how can he not screw this up? Like, how can I set this up so he cannot screw it up? But man, I mean, I think a lot of people have been, I'm guilty of it myself. Just like I was printing off the exact same bodybuilding.com workouts when I was 18, 19. Yeah. And, you would think you would have to squat and bench and deadlift all the time. Overuse issues and like, I don't know. I think every young lifter, especially if they don't have a coach, you do what you can. You figure out, oh, this is free. I might as well try it. And then
exactly. Like everyone has to start somewhere. And I think one of the biggest things that people tend to overlook is the basics. Just going in there and getting a pump, like doing a lot of bro workouts. They really do work. Of course, you have to evolve from those and get like an actual structured program, like whatever your goals may be. But having those basic fundamentals under your belt is going to take you a long way, because pretty much your whole lifting career is just longevity and doing the same things over and over and over. And then you start to see slow results over time.
And everybody wants those fast results right away.
It's crazy, man.
Like there's a guy, he's outside right now, but it's like, man, I've given him a very, very basic program because he's never lifted weights before. I said, look, here's how you execute these 8 basic movement patterns. Do them for many, many, many sets of 10. Don't change anything for a while. I'm like, man, if you can, because that's one big core principle I believe in is mastery of the basics, which is a lifelong pursuit. Like you're always trying to get better from a technique standpoint. And you basically, that's what I see from an amateur versus a advanced is an advanced is going to have an exact same repeatable rep every single time. But if I give an amateur sets of 10, I know this guy's going to do sets of 10 and they're all going to look different. But gradually over time, even if he's using the same weight, I want all of that set to look the same eventually.
Yes.
So he might be 5 out of 10 looking the same right now. Then as he gets better, 6 out of 10 at that same weight is an improvement. So but everybody thinks there's something sexy and some kind of new program. It's not
boring,
flashy,
man. It's really boring. Like there's never gonna be enough variations to get you a bigger chest. Like it's really gonna just be like learning how to press better or how to activate that muscle or just doing more pressing. If you want to get bigger legs, you got to squat more. Like you have to squat, it's just the basics. You can't deny them. And you make a really good point of like just taking someone who is still learning and just mastering those, those rep ranges and the form. Once you have the form down, everything else starts to slowly come in where you can start getting more fancy with it.
Yeah,
but most times people want a pill or they want some type of advice that is like overnight.
Yeah. I think people have a hard time understanding delayed gratification.
It's so good though.
That's something like, I promise you, this is what you need to do. Just stay the course. Don't change, other than like simply trying to put a little more weight on the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Even 5 pounds, or even if you don't add any weight on the bar, but moving it better, like each rep looking the same, that's progression. Or if you're not getting as fatigued through that same rep range that you did, that's progression. Like, but most people are like, if I'm not maxing out every week, then I'm not getting better. And dude, maxing out or just all that just takes so much on your body. So I always recommend take your time, especially with my athletes. I'm the same way, dude. It's just delayed gratification is the way to go.
Yeah. So I mean, for you, like you're up at this elite level for juniors, and you're getting ready to make that leap into, So what's the classification come next for you?
So it's juniors and then it's open.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've competed at Raw Nationals twice, which is like the Super Bowl of powerlifting, and I think last year I got like top 10, which was really hard because the 83 weight class, the 83 kg weight class is the most stacked weight class in all of powerlifting because it's that body weight range where everyone can be at. Like most men are at 181 pounds, and then like I'm 5'7", and that's actually pretty tall for the weight class. Like most of the top guy is like 5'5". And so like I'm actually kind of at a disadvantage right now. So and then like I should be in the 93 kg, which is like 205, I think, something like that. But I'm slowly allowing my body to get up there instead of just like trying to add all this weight on that I'm not really gonna hold. But yeah, once I transition this year, I'll be in the open, and the open is against like 24 and up. I think 24. Once you get to like 40 is when you're considered a master. But it's been a long journey. I started off as a 74, which is a 163-pound guy. To 2 years ago, I got into the 181s, and it was hard because I was so used to like keeping a decent physique. But my strength plateaued. So once I allowed myself to gain that muscle, and I was like young, I was thinking like I want to stay light the whole time, but I was slowly kind of digging myself into a hole. So once I transitioned to the 83s, it changed everything forever. And like I'm just now starting to, I feel like, put on that mature muscle, or that man muscle kind of. I feel like
that man muscle.
Yeah, I feel like everyone that gets like 25 and 30, like you're just swole. Like you're automatically get swole if you keep doing it.
It is interesting though. Like you'll see those guys that just have like a more dense look to them. And I think it is just. I think you're right. I think it's just it comes with the experience and the time, and the tendons and ligaments get a little thicker. Muscle obviously gets a little more dense. At least it has a harder look to it. But yeah. I mean, so with your training, it's obviously changed over the years. And you mentioned fatigue a minute ago. So how frequently are you going like 90% plus on your deadlifts, for example?
For my deadlifts, honestly, I haven't pushed my deadlifts at all this whole prep. Like, so the most I deadlifted is 600 pounds. And it was the fast, well, not in total, but in this whole prep of, I think it's been since, August, but it's been 600 pounds. And like, it's the fastest it's ever moved. But I think the biggest movement that fatigues me is squats.
Okay.
If I hit a big single, oh my gosh, like my body's like my legs only have so much gas in the tank. And what's crazy is in meets it goes squat, bench, and deadlift. But in my training, I've been doing squat, deadlift, and then bench, which has been a lot harder. So I'm kind of priming my body for that big fatigue. So by the time I get to deadlift, I have a break. So then I'm a lot stronger. No, but like I think we've been just hitting in like the mid, the high 500s, and we've only pulled 6 like a few times. So in about 3 weeks, we should actually see where we're gonna be at, and we're gonna peak our way in to hopefully hit maybe 20 pounds more than our all-time best.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's why I was kind of asking you that kind of question, because I wanted to hear it directly from you about. My guess was that you hadn't pulled super heavy leading up to the meet, because I think a lot of people are under the misconception of, oh, well, I got to deadlift maximally all the time. No. But what a lot of people make the mistake of is this. Look, you have fatigue that is going to set in. So you have to ask yourself, am I ready to make this trade-off? Is it worth it to push one max single versus where you could do 3 to 4 singles at like 80% and get a little bit more quality, a little bit more volume in that way. So I was just curious how that worked out for you.
No, it's worked wonders. I think in the past with other coaches, we've kind of pushed things too quickly, and it caused things to kind of shit the bed towards the end of like meet prep when it's most crucial, because when you go too heavy too quickly, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, you're not going to give your body enough time to recover, and you're not going to hit your peak because you're too fatigued to do anything. Like, if you're fatigued on your last month, when that should be like your prime sessions where you're like getting stronger, your body's slowly recovering better, and you're just getting ready for that big day, but you're like tired all the time, and you're missing lifts, you're missing sets. That's when things start to go haywire. And with my new coach, I don't know if you're into like all the powerlifting, but his name is Marcellus Williams. He's called the Swolefessor on IG. Shout out to you, man. He's a great dude, really smart guy. He's like the guru when it comes to powerlifting. But he's given me a different approach where like we have kept the intensity super high, and we just maintained that for months. Even in the off season, we weren't doing that much. We were doing volume, but it was broken up. Like, instead of doing like a 4x10, we'd like do a heavy day, a secondary day, and then like kind of like a throwaway day where like I'll do a heavy squat, I may do like a tempo, and then I'll do like high bar. Just like I'm just practicing these movements, but it's doing things that will keep fatigue off me if I am hitting my RPEs right. And RPEs is just rate per exertion.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So we've been using the RP method, and it's been doing really well. Whereas in the past, I've used like percentage based.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get fixed on a number.
Yeah.
And when you chase numbers in this sport, you tend to kind of like overshoot all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing I've been implementing with guys here is more RPE style, and nothing against percentage based. I think it certainly has its place, and it's definitely it's certainly worked really well for a lot of people. But I just give it to them as like a rough skeleton, and basically like if you need some rough guidelines, here's your percents. But if you're a really good tester, it's going to skew your numbers. If you're a really poor tester, it's going to skew your numbers. And what if on test day stuff's just not going right? It's much easier to say, hey, how you feeling today? If you're feeling good, like you're obviously experienced enough where you can implement RPE and you're going to get great results from it. But for the beginners, there are those coaches who will shit on RPE for beginners, and they'll say, well, they have no perception of difficulty, which is true. But it's just, here, let's take your 1RM, which is probably an artificial environment anyway, because you're going to have people who are shouting at you, yelling at you, getting you hyped up, which is going to give you a false 10% or 20% buffer, So then that's why you take that 10 or 20% off, depending on training age and whatnot. And then you have a training max for that cycle. But anyway,
that's so cool that you use RPEs on your athletes out there, man.
Yeah. And with the guys that I work with, I think it takes a little pressure off, because highly, highly competitive type of person that comes through here, So all these guys I know they're glancing over and looking at each other, like who's lifting what. So I've been trying to create a culture here of, look, it doesn't matter what that guy's doing, because you don't know his training history. You don't know his biological age. You don't know his training age. You don't know anything about him. So what I give that guy is going to be much different than what I give you. So,
But
anyway,
that's good, man. It's crazy how competitive we can get. And being competitive isn't a bad thing, but it's bad whenever you let it consume you, and then you start to do things that are out of your character.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's good that you're like not setting the expectations high. You're kind of letting everyone do their own thing and like stay in their lane.
Yeah, especially for lifting, because I realize for what these guys do, as much as I hate to say it, lifting is the least important part of their day.
Yeah.
Like they have more important things going on, and they're competing in every other aspect. And here they just need to focus on quality of movement and executing movement well, and especially being pain free. So anyway,
Yeah.
I think I got off on a tangent for a second, but
No, you're all good, man.
but yeah, what about now? Have you ever messed around with any kind of accommodating resistance or anything like that?
What is that in particular? Like,
So like bands or chains or anything like that?
oh yeah. Oh, so to me, I always think of like West Side. I don't know if you
Mm.
ever heard of Louise Simmons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I actually got to meet Louis in 2018. Super awesome guy.
yeah,
He invited us back to his gym whenever we want to go. Me and my friend Jamar Royster and my coach at the time, Mike Vargas. But really knowledgeable guy. He definitely believes in it. But I kind of dabbled in that a little bit
yeah,
in 2018, but then I kind of strayed away from it because I think there's a time and place for everything.
mm,
In the off season, I think it's great to push yourself and use those resistance, but I think it all kind of just depends on what your goals are, man. It always goes back to that. Like, I think it's great though, but I personally don't do it anymore as
yeah,
much. What are your thoughts on it?
yeah, man. I mean, I think it's one of those things. Like I've played around for a little bit with it just to see what it's like. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I've talked to some highly competitive powerlifters, and there's kind of a mixed bag of results. Like some guys will say it works great for me, other guys will say no, it doesn't.
yeah,
So I think the jury's still out, and it's kind of one of those things where whatever your bias is or wherever you're leaning, you can probably find some evidence from some really smart people to support your
yeah.
position. So it really is like, look, the most important thing is the placebo effect. Not saying it's strictly placebo, but if you think it works, it works. Like
Exactly.
there's no debating that. But yeah, like I have messed around a little bit with like weight releasers and that kind of thing, and those are fun to
Oh my gosh, those
toy
are
around with.
brutal.
Yeah,
Those are brutal, man. Like, I see stuff like that. I'm just like, that's insane because
yep,
it would mess with my head. But
yep,
it's also, I think, it's a good confidence booster because when those things come off, you're
yep,
like, oh, this is light, but it feels like super heavy on the back or on the chest. But I don't know. I've met a lot of powerlifters that are diehard, like West Side only or
yep.
resistance bands change, and it works. I mean, they get strong, but again, I think it goes back to like the mindset. It's a placebo. Like if they believe in it, you're gonna obviously excel. But whereas if I don't believe in it, I may not as do as well with it. So
Yeah, and the uh, now that I think about it, there's a buddy of mine that I had on a couple months back. His name's Mike Lawrence, and he's a competitive powerlifter. And
oh
I
shoot,
I can't remember if he's geared or raw, but either way, I mean his deadlift's like around 740, 750. Um, but he does a lot of accommodating resistance, and he's a professor, University of Maine, I think.
oh that's
So
incredible.
so he studies a lot of that stuff. But so he's not just like a professor who's saying this theory. Like he's
Yeah.
actually let me experiment and try, and then like report back and do some experiments. But
Mhm.
anyway, he's had some great results with it. So,
I
but
mean,
then I talked.
you said 750 deadlift.
I think he's somewhere around there. Man, I think his name. If you check him out on Instagram, it's like the Albino Rhino 275 or something like
Sounds
that.
super familiar. I don't know why, but I'm gonna
He's
check him out for sure.
he's jacked, man. He's a big dude. So um, anyway, it's just interesting to talk to him about it. And I mean, you guys would get along for sure. I mean, powerlifting, you've got a lot of raw work, and then he's got
Mhm.
a lot of. I think he's done some gear stuff, but I think he might gravitate a little bit more towards raw as well. So
Yeah, geared lifting is a whole different world. I have a
right,
few friends that do it, but I've had my friends wrap my knees and never again. That thing,
no,
it hurts. Oh my
yeah,
god.
I tried. I had somebody wrap my knees one time. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that anymore. That
My
shit
girlfriend
sucks.
loves it. Like she loves geared lifting, which is crazy. And she's
Oh, she can.
also
So she competes.
yeah, she competes.
That's awesome, man. What weight class?
She competes as a 52 and a 57.
Oh my god, so she's like super tiny.
Yeah, she's a hybrid, but she's just like a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool how we can share that together, too.
So you guys in the gym at the same time?
Yeah, like
Okay.
we're in the gym at the same time. We both do really long workouts, and it's been good to find a partner that understands the lifestyle because we do take it pretty seriously. But I'm big on like once I stop having fun with it, I'm probably gonna leave powerlifting at the door. But right now, I'm enjoying it. Like I want to make sure I have fun and I am that I'm progressing as well, but I don't want to ever take myself too seriously with it, because we're
Yeah.
not getting paid. Like we're not Olympians, nothing like that. We're just people that enjoy the camaraderie of the sport
Hmm.
and the feeling we get on the platform. But yeah, she's been competing for about 2 years, and she's very strong. She's probably gonna no, she will be on the primetime stage next year, which is like it's like the best of the best in the country.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So where's that gonna be held? Primetime station.
So Raw Nationals is always held in different states. I think this year was supposed to be held in Florida, but it got canceled. So I'm not sure where it's going to be at next year. Last year it was in Chicago, which was incredible.
Hmm. Yeah, man, that'll be cool. I mean, that'll be really exciting for her to get up there, and you know,
Yeah.
because how many are in that? Do you know how many are in that class or expected to be in that class?
So when you're in prime time, I think it's like 10 lifters, whereas when you're in like the normal session, it's like 100 lifters. So you
Wow.
have to really be like top 5 or top 10 in the nation to make it. So
So does she know what number she needs to hit?
yeah, yeah. She's got some big goals. She's trying to. I think she's going for the American record on bench at her comp, and then for me, I'm trying to go for the North Carolina state squat record as an 83 kg junior, which is like 630
Right.
pounds. So wish me best of luck, man. We're gonna try to make it happen. I think I gotta chip it, so like I gotta hit 640. I think it's 632, so I gotta hit like 642 in order to get it. So it's cool to have like a partner that pushes you in and outside the gym, and
Yeah.
that we can have fun with it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that does help for sure, man. Having somebody who's, for sure understanding about, hey, this is going to take some hours. This is going to take some time to go up
Yeah,
here. So, but
yeah. I mean, she's screaming on the sidelines too. Like she's hitting ammonia and she's doing all this stuff with me. So it's fun to have that in our relationship. Whereas sometimes it's hard to find someone that can understand, especially
yep.
when you love the gym. Like I think that's the hardest thing. But it's been fun. 2 years strong.
All right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
When I first got up here, on my desk there was some ammonia, and I never smelled ammonia before,
Oh my gosh.
and I was just like, yeah, I'll just unscrew this and see what it's like. Like, oh my god! All right, that's going back on the shelf over there, man. Holy
You were
shit!
just closing it real quick and put
Yeah,
it away.
like not smelling that stuff, but I've seen a lot of guys smell that right before they go, and it works. It does something for you. So,
Did you put it straight to your nose, like
yeah,
all the way
no,
up?
no, no, no. I just opened it and
Dude.
I kind of held it away, and
Yeah.
thought my eyes were gonna pop out of my head.
Yes.
But
It's great. It's great, but man, some ammonia out there is so strong. Like I've had ammonia that was so strong that I've opened the bag and I started crying. Like it was that strong. Like the mail packaging. I was like, whoa.
the mailman's like, "What the hell are you having me
Yeah, he's
delivered
like, this
to?"
is illegal. It has to be.
Oh man, but well, hey man, I don't want to keep you too long, but anyway, thanks for coming on and chatting with me for a little bit. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm honored, and I hope we can do this again sometime.
yeah. Why don't you give me? You want people to have your Instagram, email? How do you want people to reach out to you?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Mr. Rise and Shine. That's on Instagram, and then follow our official apparel page, which is official Rise and Shine Lifestyle. I'm messing up this whole thing, and then on Facebook you can find us at Rise and Shine Lifestyle as well.
All right, cool, man. Well, have a good rest of your weekend, and thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you so much, man. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
yeah, you too.